welcome back to Marriage and Family Counseling. Today, we want to explore and go beneath the surface of the problems. And so, in this video, we're going to begin to take that deeper dive and consider what's really going on in the relationship. Now, when you are in counseling sessions, a couple will always come and they present. They present with a presenting problem, and that might be an argument, that might be a reoccurring issue that the couple is coming about, and they feel that that is their real problem. But I can promise you by much experience, I have found that at the heart of the matter, there is always the matters of the heart. And the raised voices, the problem, the disagreement, the argument, the fight is typically about deep needs that are not being met in the heart of an individual or both individuals in the couple relationship. And so you see a predictable pattern. You see this pattern of a typically a pursuer and a withdrawer. And so if I were to use a very stereotypical textbook type illustration, I would draw it out like this. You have a husband who says, she nags, she demands, she's always coming at me, she's always in my business. And she would say, well, he's always shutting down. He stonewalls. He is unengaged. He's not fully present. And so you have this dance, you have this script, you have this pattern, and she pursues, he withdraws. Now, do you see how this is playing out with the attachment styles? If she's pursuing and she's demanding, why is that? There's an insecure attachment. I need your attention, is really what she's saying. I need your presence. I need you to be fully engaged. I need to feel loved. I need to feel secure in this relationship. But because she comes on so strong, because she is pursuing so diligently and intensely, our withdrawer shuts down. What's happening there? If you look at this from an attachment style perspective, he is avoidant. He is perhaps fearful. But when he is triggered, now he is going into an attachment crisis. And so you're going to get the withdrawal, you're going to get the stonewall, you're going to get the pushback and even defensiveness because he's fearful. And it puts it and it creates this terrible dance, this awkward dance. And most couples present in some way that the reoccurrence of the argument and the fight is very similar to the last one. Maybe the issue was different, maybe it's the same, but it's the same predictable type of patterns. And so what happens is if you can help your couple see this pattern, they can begin to work together because they don't want to be in this awkward dance. They don't want to just go and read through these scripts over and over and have the same fight about a different issue or the same fight about the same issue. And so it's helping them to see the pattern. Now, the mistake with most marriage counselors is made when they see this pattern of pursuit and withdrawal and they go right into an intervention mode toward the pursuer. And it's interesting because the research demonstrates that if you move to the side of the withdrawer and begin to address those needs in the first place, you are more than likely going to see a higher level of success in your marriage counseling. That's the research. What does that look like? If I have a couple in my office and I have the intensity of the pursuer and I have the shutdown of the withdrawer, I might say something like this. I would say, let's consider why the intensity is so high here. Let's consider what your wife really wants. She wants you. She wants you to be present. She wants to be loved. She's demanding, yes, and she has every right to be demanding. But all she really wants is you. Now, if I can get the withdrawer to see that, become aware of that, and the withdrawer can now experience this emotion that's happening inside in a new way and reconsider her feelings, her needs, he shifts. He gives attention. He now gives his full presence. What happens? She ceases to pursue. The intensity goes down because now she's feeling secure in her attachment. And there you see the couple now with these same emotions, but they're experiencing them in a new way. Needs are being met rather than needs going unmet, and great attachment crises are happening. And so, as I've said before, people don't need a new idea, they need a new experience. And so, this is the great goal of marriage counseling. It's to go far beneath the surface, beneath the presenting problems, and going down to the heart of the matter. And in doing so, you're more than likely, going to see higher levels of success. So we don't begin with skills building. We don't begin with interventions to help the couple connect. Why? Because they're in conflict. And so the very first thing I want to do is to de escalate, and I will be more successful in my de escalation attempt if I can get them to see why the argument is happening. And so it's not about the what, it's about the why. As we consider going beneath the surface and really getting to the heart of the matter with all of our couples, I also want to bring to your attention and awareness current best practices, evidence based gold standards in the world of counseling. What do you mean by that, you might say? I would say this, that over the many years of research within the clinical world, what they have found is what works and what doesn't work. And so in our counseling program, I want you to be equipped with what works. And what works and what would be the gold standard in marriage counseling would be two areas of research. One, the Gottman research, which we've talked about in previous videos. In this video, I want to go a little bit further with a research-based, evidence-based, clinically sound program, and it's called emotionally focused therapy. It was developed by Sue Johnson and her colleagues in the late 80s, and it remains to this day as the gold standard as far as effectiveness in marriage counseling. And so I want to bring some of those tools and some of those findings to your attention to help you better counsel couples. And so when you look at emotionally focused therapy, or EFT, you'll find that there are basically three domains. There is the first domain or stage, which would be de-escalation, and then reconstructing and consolidation. In de-escalation, when the couple comes in and they're presenting with difficulties and challenges, I want to bring them to a point of neutrality. We've got to have a truce. We've got to be able to work together. So I want to de-escalate, and then I want to reconstruct the way they look at the problems, the way, and here's where all of your tools come in. And we want to help them experience their emotions in a new way. We want to help them to see the other person's perspective. And then we want to consolidate. We want to help them practice this new way to dance and to interact because the dance is intense. It almost looks like a wrestling match when they come in, they're against each other. But then you can get them to dance, and you see the dance go back and forth, up and down. That's the nature of relationships. And in this, there are particular stages within the EFT model that I think are very helpful. And again, they will set very nicely with your biblical worldview, and they will give you the ability to assess what's really going on. And they will give you a structure, a construct to implement helpful resources, your experience, your prayer, and your biblical knowledge to help a couple achieve that place in the relationship that they ultimately want and desire. And so, if a doctor is going to help you, a doctor would have to assess you appropriately to provide the most accurate and effective treatment. And so it is in marriage counseling or any counseling. You have to assess, see what's going on, see what's really going on, and then you can provide the best advice, the best treatment, the best counsel for your couples. And so the EFT really is just your stethoscope. It is a structure, it is a tool so that you can listen in, see what's going on, and provide the best counsel possible. The first stage in the EFT model is that of crisis and conflict. And so it's in that first stage that you want to work toward de escalation. Now, I will say this that conflicts are not a sign that you've married the wrong person. They simply affirm that you are human. It is only natural that couples will have disagreements, misunderstandings, hurt feelings. It's only natural in the course of a long term relationship that we will feel at times hurt, even betrayed. So many things go into this process of living life. And so it's about understanding, it's about forgiveness, it's about restoration. It's ultimately about feeling safe in the relationship. But it doesn't matter who the couple may be. And if you look at couples over the period of life, even the couples that live to later advanced years and express the highest levels of quality and satisfaction in their marriages, they too express that, yes, we've had to work through things. And yes, we don't always get it right. But there is a commitment and there is a cooperation and a collaboration in the couple's relationship that allow them to go into a long-term relationship one with another. And so this is the first stage, crisis and conflict. Every counselor wants to get out of stage one, crisis and conflict. We want to get into stage two, that stage of exploration and alignment, that stage where we can begin to do repair, teach skills, help the couple to connect. That's a wonderful stage. But you may stay in stage one a little bit longer than you expect. Some couples move quickly to stage two because that's what they really want. Other couples have more critical needs, deeper needs, and they may be in stage one a bit longer. You can't rush stage one. And so I also want to talk to you about three barriers that will keep you from going into stage two. And I'm going to describe these barriers to getting to that point of repair and rebuilding and exploration and alignment, all of those things that you want. What are the three barriers that keep people stuck, that keep the relationship stuck in stage one? The first A would be that of addiction. If there is active addiction in the home, in the relationship, it's going to stop you. It's going to prevent you to getting to that place of repair and building and connecting. Addiction is a horrible thing that comes into the home. It keeps a family in crisis. Addiction must be dealt with. It cannot be swept under the rug. It has to be dealt with. Where there is active addiction in the home, it will break down the relationship, and it is a cancer for the relationship. And so when you think about addiction, don't just think about substances or alcohol. Addiction takes all types of forms. Uh, there is addiction to pornography, gambling, on it goes. And so addictive behavior is very divisive within the nature of the couple, and it's very threatening to the safety and security of the relationship. The first A would be addiction. It's going to prohibit you from getting to that place of repair. It's going to keep the couple in conflict and crisis. The second A is an affair. The affair has to be dealt with before you can go to rebuilding, and that means the affair has to end. It has to be shut down. Are affairs fatal? They don't have to be. Is it the final nail in the coffin, as some would say? It doesn't have to be. That is a myth. What I have found is that many couples can work through addiction. They can work through an affair. They can work through problems. And when you come right down to it, most of those presenting problems are but symptoms of what? Deep needs that haven't been met, are not being met, and that person within the relationship is now seeking to meet those needs inappropriately in an unhealthy or dangerous way. And it is absolutely very, very threatening to the relationship. And so at this point in your counseling, you may, if the intensity of these two areas are still very high, and things are not being dealt with, have not been dealt with, the individual that's in the addictive or the adulterous behavior may need outside counsel as well. Now, these are things that we would talk about in great detail in one on one mentoring with a counselor. But I just want you to be aware of it for the sake of this particular talk and this particular teaching in this segment of our video. And so, what are the barriers? Addictive behavior, an affair, and of course, abuse. If there is active physical violence, if there is active abuse in the home, verbal, emotional, physical abuse, you're stuck. You can't go further in the repairing and rebuilding of the relationship. So these things have to be dealt with, and I will always advocate for safety and respect first. When you boil it right down, the great question in every relationship is this: are you there for me? Do I matter? Are you there for me? Are you really here? Do you really care? Are you involved? Are you committed? If I feel that you're there, then I feel safety and security in the relationship. I'm going to give you yet another acronym, ARE, because the question is, are you there for me? I can tell you this, that in counseling over some years, one of the great chief complaints that I have from couples, from the partners in the relationship, and it's not necessarily gender specific, one partner or the other will say, you know, they're just not present. They're not engaged. They're not really here. They're here, but they're not really here. They're physically here, but they're not emotionally here. They're not spiritually here. They are not present. They're in their own world. They're spaced out. They're zoned out, but they're not here. And what most couples want in a relationship is connection. And so when we think about this acronym A stands for accessibility. It's, can I reach you? Are you there for me? I need you to be accessible. Being physically present is not good enough. I need the whole of you. Are you there for me? It's vital in every relationship. In our acronym are you there for me? A is accessibility. R is simply responsiveness. I need you to respond to me. I need you to react. I need you to respond to me emotionally. And then the E is simply enough engaged. I need you to be actually actively engaged in the relationship. And so when you have a relationship with the R involved, when the person is accessible, when they are responsive, when they are engaged, you have the dynamics for closeness and safety and security in that relationship. You have all of the components that you need for a rich, connected experience in the relationship. So, accessibility, responsiveness, and engagement are essential. When you look at the Gospels, when you look at the life of the Lord Jesus, in every scenario, in every situation when Jesus interacted with others, he was always R. He was always accessible. He was always responsive. He was always engaged fully and completely. And that is the model of Christ likeness in the home and being completely accessible, responsive, and engaged in the relationship is that essential piece to feel connected. And it's what your couple must begin to practice as they go forward in a loving, caring, and lasting relationship. Finally, we come to stage three in the EFT model. Stage three is all about application and practice. In the previous stages, stage one, we dealt with conflict. We dealt with the crisis mode that couples many times find you in. Stage two is about restoration, reconstruction, repair. It's the very redemptive part of marriage counseling. And then stage three, we're taking these principles and we're taking these skills and practices and awareness, we're applying it, we're coaching with the couple and getting them to that point where they're routinely reacting differently, behaving in different ways, and experiencing the emotions and the triggers in new ways, which you as a counselor are helping guide them through. And so this is but a construct, a help, a way for you to go beneath the surface, to get beneath the presenting problems, to go down to the heart of the matter, to really help your families effectively. And so, as with all of our counseling videos, God bless you as you work with families, as you go deeper into their lives and connect with them and to help them. Through this, what will happen? You're going to see powerful breakthrough. You're going to see couples reunite and get closer. And yes, you will be helping families save marriages, improve marriages, increase understanding and awareness. And so God bless you as you are committed to the helping ministry of counseling.